Hey Frederick, my name is Matt Clark, and here's the video I was talking about. I'm going to go through some recommendations for you and just show you a couple of things while I've got you. It should take only about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll just drop you an email with prices and other bits and pieces. Cool, so this is me. Hi, I also travel a lot, and this was me when I was about to do some Torrentismo in Colombia. I currently travel and have been in the luxury lifestyle for quite some time now. I used to be a sound engineer in the Ivy, which is the most luxurious bar and club in Sydney. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and now I'm just travelling around and getting to know the rest of the world. So it's good to see we have similar interests, and without further ado, I'll go ahead with the recommendations. Cool, so first off, just jumping across to your website. Nice and clean, that's great to see. If possible, I'd suggest maybe having a full width, or at least a bit wider gallery that scrolls through here, and with the just back from, also just making things a bit larger. The font's quite small, and also having your contact details here, I'd make them a lot more prominent. You can also add them into your header here. I think that's a much better option, because a lot of people aren't going to go ahead and read this paragraph and find the number at the end. So that's something you definitely need to change straight away. Same with the number up here. It's too inconspicuous, so just make it easy for people to find and contact you. Cool, so on with the social profiles. What I'm going to go through is basically here's an overview of what I've found on what your needs are and how we can go ahead. So with Facebook, basically what you've been doing is one post a day with a photo, which is fine. You know, it's good to see that you're posting. But I'd also suggest, watermarking each of these photos with, Sienna Charles on it, and also telling people to share it, like it, adding, even if you just add like a like and share little watermark on their images as well. This is the kind of stuff that I'd be doing for you. So definitely recommend that you add a watermark with your brand. So if people do like it, share it, do whatever, it's going to pop up in their feeds. You can also do in-post email captures and stuff like that instead of doing this email sign up. Most people aren't going to come and click here. It's good to see that you've connected the rest of your stuff, but again, not a lot of people go ahead and do this kind of thing. If you look at your analytics on the pages they've viewed, it's probably going to be not much. Seeing as you've only got 430 likes, it's really not going to be doing anything for you. So the first thing we'll do is starting a like campaign, and I think we should be able to see another 500 to 1,000 likes in the first month. Cool. So from there, look, realistically, there's not a whole lot to say. There's not a whole lot going on. I'd also chuck in a link to your website in every post. You could even have just a quick survey or something. Something I do quite often is I just survey people to collect their email addresses. Answer this quick 3-question survey to go into to win a trip to wherever, or to have your flights paid for to wherever. Those sort of things are really good. Cool. So as well with Facebook, here's what I'd recommend. It's 3 to 5 times daily. Run some competitions, like I was saying, and replying to all your comments and stuff like that. Obviously, you guys haven't got much engagement or comments happening, but go and reply to them. Go and like their posts anytime they do any of that kind of stuff, and you'll see all that when you actually get some likes on the page. Now, one thing I do have to warn you though is Facebook's just come out with a new algorithm update last month or the month before, where basically people are seeing less and less and less of your organic posts. So one thing that's inevitable if you're going to be doing Facebook advertising is advertising. You really have to just pay for the reach. And so what I suggest typically is $10 a day on advertising for likes, $5 a day on doing special offers and sponsoring your posts, and then just your typical like direct to your website or direct to a special offer or any of that kind of stuff where it's you're going to capture their lead. I typically say you can pay up to 50 cents to $1 per email address collected. And if you think about it, if you've got 100 people on your email list or 1,000 people on your email list, and out of all those people that you send out an email to, 1 or 2 people might purchase something through you guys every 2 or 3 months, and that might be worth to you, I don't know, $500, $1,000. So what we'd have to do is really go through and figure out exactly how much each email address is worth, and whether or not it's even worthwhile doing social or any of this kind of stuff in the first place. Who knows, for you guys it might even be better to forget about the social side of thing and just do SEO, but again, it depends on how much your customers are worth and how much you can spend to get them, and that's all going to come down to tracking and stuff as well. Cool. So RE Twitter, I changed the background. This is ugly. You can have a full width, nice large background. It's good to see that you're replying to different people and having conversations. This is going much better than Facebook. So yeah, we'd continue along this path, and also just tapping on trends and stuff like that. The other thing I'm noticing is you're not adding many links. Yeah, so one thing I would do is add more links, and when you're mentioning people, just chuck a link on the end. It doesn't even matter if you're telling them to click it or if it's overly relevant, but people will start visiting your site. The more people you have visiting your site from social platforms, that also helps your SEO as well. Cool. So okay, on with YouTube. I didn't see any links directly from your site, but I definitely suggest doing a video every 1 to 2 weeks. And they can be short little photo galleries or a quick update from the office or any of those kinds of things, and just make sure you SEO them properly. Give them right titles, make sure you've tagged them properly, all that kind of stuff. With Pinterest, you were doing okay, but again, it's quite small and lifeless. So what I would suggest is, what you've done in here is good. Where I can click here and I head across to your site. It's perfect. But one thing that isn't so great is on all the repins and stuff that you guys have been doing. So for example, internal decor, and you come here and I click here, it takes me to myidealhome.tumblr.com. Yeah. So I suggest you edit these repins, because you can edit them and change the website so they come across to your Facebook page or they come across to your website, however you want to do it. Yeah, definitely need to change that. And we can post blocks of photos and stuff like that with particular keywords, so that way people come across and they get just blanketed with your brand every couple of days. Then going ahead and just liking and commenting and repinning other people's stuff, but again, making sure to change the web address that's attached to the photo. Cool. So with Pinterest, again, we can kind of, as far as timing, I've also put this together. I'll see if I can send this across to you. But yeah, repins every 2 to 3 days, likes every 2 to 3 days, and blocks of content. Just do a wave of content every week or 2 weeks. Just to get people, seeing it. The other thing is Instagram. Pretty much use the same kind of strategy with Instagram. It's a mix between Twitter and Pinterest. It's really not anything different. But one thing I do have to say about Twitter is, the conversion rates on Twitter are pretty poor. Typically, if you're having conversations and all that sort of stuff on Twitter, it's great. But as far as doing anything other than customer service and a bit of brand awareness, I typically don't find much value in Twitter. YouTube, Facebook, and Pinterest seem to be the best, and Google Plus, just because it comes into all the search feeds. So if someone searches, Sienna Charles, or if they search luxury travel Florida or things like that, if you have a really well optimized Google Plus page, you can show up with all your posts and other bits and pieces. And if all the posts are watermarked with your number and your website, it's going to be a lot better than not having it at all. And honestly, I find Google Plus is going to be a better thing for you than Instagram. But yeah, cool. So timing, pretty much 3 to 5 times a day on Facebook, 4 to 6 times a day on Twitter, and then 1 to 3 on all the rest of the platforms. And YouTube, pretty much the least you can do is every 2 weeks, just post up a new video. With the blog, I'd suggest once a week. Make sure it's all well optimized, minimum of 350 words, 400 words, and make sure we post it to the social networks. And if you're doing the YouTube videos, include them in the blog post, so it's another backlink for your video. The other thing we can do is media buying and PPC. So we go ahead and spend, you can start from $20 a day on that and advertise to demographically similar sites. Same with Facebook, so one of your competitors is STA Travel. Even though they're not so luxury, they're definitely one of the major players in the game, and these are the kinds of guys you want to get some wallet share from. So when I did some demographic research on them, basically the age of these guys is typically, of the visitors visiting the sites of STA Travel, is typically 18 to 35. They've got the majority of about 40% of the visitors, and then 35 to 44 and 45 to 54 take up another 30%, the rest quite small. So advertising, I do it in two demographic chunks, 18 to 35, have that as one demographic chunk with the advertising, and then the older demographics from 35 to 55 or 60 in the other demographic. So a relaxing holiday away for the older guys, and then more adventurous, travel-y, hip kind of travel over on the younger side. And one thing I'd also suggest on the younger side as well is, we could do recently engaged promotions. So people put up, okay, I just got engaged on Facebook. You can target those people who recently just got engaged in the last week, 2 weeks, and you can start advertising to those guys, or even just to people who are engaged in general. And if you start hammering ads to these guys with honeymoon getaway specials and things like that, that's where you're going to see your ROI, because they're going to be planning their wedding, and then they're going to be planning a nice expensive trip after the wedding. Typically the gender breakup on STA was heavily male, and the income was between $60,000 to $100,000 a year. 30k and under and 30 to 60k also brought in a massive chunk, but this isn't your target demographic. This is the target demographic of STA, and you guys are more looking for the minimum 50 grand and up kind of deal. And if not, just the people who are going to go and spend on, the honeymoons and things like that. Cool. So again, emails, I would suggest, a lot of people say do it every week or do it every 2 weeks or however you want to do it. I typically suggest only email people when you're going to give them real value. So, don't go and email them every week with we just updated our blog, because no one really is going to care. That's going to be on the social networks, and they don't want another email cluttering up their inbox. Basically, only email them with real value things, and when you're adding a low value. And to track all of the above, I use CPV Labs. This is, I'll show you the website here, CPV Labs. And this is where we can track people right from an ads all the way to, the website where they've got contact information, or an email submit, or things like that. It's not the most pretty kind of tracking service, but it's definitely the best. So that's what I use with you guys, along with Google Analytics, the social analytics on each page, and I do a monthly report for you. Cool. So as far as any more recommendations, look, I think that's pretty much summed it up. We can go ahead and have some more chats and conversations, clarify any questions you've got. Basically, I'm not going to be able to work in the Florida office because I work and travel, just I'm guessing as Jacqueline does. But yeah, I think this is really going to be the best option for you guys is going to be the Facebook advertising with the engagement specials and things like that. And typically I find Instagram is going to be a bit of a waste of time, and yeah, really start branding everything that you post. It has to be a methodical kind of thing rather than just a few inspirational photos with text on it, you know what I mean? Just really get a brand happening for you. Anyway, that's enough from me. We'll chat soon, and yeah, hope this was helpful. Cool. Chat soon.